Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. In this episode, I want to share my latest experiment with OSC and kind of like a motion capture in 3D. I will be using this add-on by JP. It's called MIDI OSC and more. It was originally called Add OSC, and this is latest version 0.23. And I have already install it on Blender 2.82 alpha, so it's still alpha and it's all still experimental. But here I have my iPhone on the left, and I already found out the address for my local Wi-Fi IP, which is this one. I just gonna match this one with the one over here for MIDI OSC. We don't need to use the MIDI, so we can turn it off, but here we actually need to set it up so it's matching the one we set on the iPhone. Okay, I think that's correct address, and I just hit OK on the iPhone, and now we should actually be already connected. I will be using the monkey head, and I will add a route. We don't actually need to see this anymore. Just look at the route, and we're gonna grab Suzanne. And for the data paths, really, for this experiment, I just need to have Suzanne address, and I know the data path is just location. Location have XYZ data, so let's see if we can do this properly. And we need to enable OSC, and then the address, I think it was HT. I might be wrong, but we're gonna enable receive. And supposedly we should be able to see something. Let me try using my face. I have a feeling. Okay, we need to enable locations. So let's see if I open Safari and try to find out if we have the proper address. So Banafla FaceCap app. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's the app I'm using is FaceCap app. And we have this live mode, of course, this is what I'm doing. And we can send the OSC data into Blender. So we have the head position, which is HT, and we have rotation HR. HT seems to be correct. So Suzanne locations, why is it not updating yet? Oh, okay. Press to connect. 192.168.1.4. 192.168.1.4. I need to enable this. Okay, the address seems to be, maybe the address is wrong. Okay, I need to check it out. Gonna be a second. So when you're doing a demo live, this is always happening. To find the IP address, you need to use ifconfig grab net, and my address is okay, it changed 192.168.1.7. all right, it changed. So interesting. So I need to now try to connect again. So 192.168.1.7, 192.168.1.7, and yeah, it should be working, but I'm not seeing anything yet. Let's save the file. Maybe I need to reopen Blender. All right. Wait. So I need to set this from 0 to 2 maybe, or 3. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, let's see. So it's working. Let me, if I'm using some kind of mask on my hand and try to simulate my face. So in general, this should works and pass the data into Blender. Well, I have a feeling that it is working, but just not in real time somehow. So my Wi-Fi is probably not very, it's working not very well. So let's save this, save again. Let's Blender 2 M.O.M version 0.23. Let's make this full screen. Turn on debug. We have Suzanne already working. Okay, routes. So this one should, in general, works. So let me turn this off for now. It's gonna focus in Blender. FaceCap app, go live, connect. Let's check the debug. Okay, we don't have debug here. All right, so seems to be failing. Somehow my computer actually changed the Wi-Fi, so I'm not getting the signal. Okay, now it's supposed to be working now. So I can record my head locations and then try to record it here using M.O.M add-on. So let's enable record. And if I play back, so it is already recording. So okay, so this is the plan. So this is really how it should work. And once I record my face, this is in theory it should work like within 1 to 5 meters. It should continuously tracking my head within that volume. And so whatever it's being tracked here. Now if I turn off this, I'm not recording anymore. I turn off the router as well. So I left with this just Susan head, which already recorded my motions. And if I'm not wrong, because this is a motion, we can calculate the motions. I don't know if we can just simply convert this into curve. Do we have that features in Blender? So convert path to, there must be an add-on that's converting the path of Suzanne. But if I'm not wrong, we can also use sphere chalk to do that. So based on the F curve, we should be able to look at Suzanne, maybe the positions, and then grab the positions. So definitely, I think we have something there. So we have F curve 1, F curve property 2, because we only have just the locations of Suzanne. So this is gonna be the vector positions. Let's try mesh, and let's try UV connections and range, number range. So we have 250. And then we just simply need to plug this in there. And if I'm doing everything correctly, if I'm using mesh, should be able to see the motions. Okay, cool. Seems to be working. We just need to merge it into a single object. So this can be like a meta ball. So what I'm showing you here is that I'm tracking Susan's head, which is I'm tracking my head using the iPhone and sending the data into my computer and then save it into an animated keyframe, and then I convert it into this bunch of icosphere, which is interesting, but meta ball is probably more useful in this case. So this is, if this works, so there we go. This is basically kind of painting in 3D, except that I don't move my head too much, but so this is, we get a result, which is kind of interesting. File save as, even though we got a hiccup, I think I managed to record this, so it's kind of interesting. So let's turn on Susan back. We don't need to see the motion path, right? Let's see if this still works now. Susan M.O.M, and then we just need to enable listen once again. Maybe I need to delete this once again. Set the frame to 1000. I know we're gonna need that, and we're gonna record this. Turn on record and listen to FaceCap app. Press to connect. All right. Okay, so we have Susan. Look at this. I'm gonna put my phone over there, so it's in a stable position, and I'm gonna move my head back and forth. Actually, I will be using, there's some kind of mask on my hand. Supposedly, it's actually difficult. I need to draw. I need to paint using my head now. So let me try. Okay, let me try to write something. Okay, left, right. I'm moving my head left and right. And I will start recording. So everything is set. I just need to run the playback. Ready? Okay, oops. Wait a minute. Doesn't seem to be recording. Some of this setting, oh, it's actually recording, sorry. Cool, I need to select Suzanne. Okay. Let's do some kind of improvisations, painting. Let me try to move back and forth. I don't know if I can write anything with my head doing this. But let me try using the mask once again. Okay, using the mask, it's easier. I'm writing something, and I can write in 3D space. So I have a couple more frames left. So yeah, let's see if I can draw a spiral. Okay, let me stop right there. So we have 800 frames. Cool. Okay, 800 frames. I'm gonna turn off the recording, turn off everything. I'm gonna save this very quickly. So I recorded the motion path of Susan's head, which is actually my head. And now we have this data. We can simply bring it into Blender using FaceCap add-on. So let's see how it's updated. Yeah, you might think, okay, we get all this. It's actually quite interesting. We have all this data. Let me actually reduce the number of points. So I'm only inspecting between frame 300 and 800, or maybe less. So this is what I have. What's I think interesting is that probably we can resample the curve path. If we are just using the points actually and just plug this into the points, we actually have the path. And this is something to keep in mind, and this is actually quite nice. We can perhaps subdivide this further or add or have less points, but I'm actually trying to draw something. It's a bit abstract at this point, but I did try to write something, whether you can read it or not. So maybe not the most accurate because I'm using my head to paint, but still interesting. Maybe you can see what I draw.
I didn't catch that.
Okay, let me turn that off. So this is how I started, right? I'm moving my head around and then I try to write something. So the problem here, of course, we don't have a way to turn on and turn off the painting or the drawing. So unlike grease pencil, where we can just, let me undo that. If you're using grease pencil in 3D, for example, imagine that we actually have a way to kind of lift on and off our pencil. So this is the benefit of grease pencil. Grease pencil itself, if you try to bring it into SketchUp, you can actually already do that with Blender 2.80. Yeah, you just need to do that. It's pretty cool, right? So yeah, this is kind of experiment that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, on and off, to be able to motion capture myself in 3D. With the iPhone, actually, in theory, you can already motion capture your full body motions, but there is no app that does that yet at this point. If you know a bit of coding, you can definitely try to just record your motion capture performance and it will capture the full body. It doesn't capture hands yet, hand motion, or it doesn't capture Apple Pencil in 3D. But I wish that maybe next year, who knows, maybe Apple has something, some kind of 3D tools that allow you to paint in 3D and then bring it into Blender. Just like this, what I'm doing here with my head and the FaceCap app. I think there's something over here that's we can learn. So if I set this to set the origin to geometry. So this is a curve, and of course, curve in Blender is also kind of interesting because you can still observe the active spline, and you can play around with the bevel start and end. So this is also interesting. I found very interesting, and you can render which part you want and then just crop the area of the spline, but it's still like this is a single object, unlike grease pencil where you can have multiple curve and then you just draw freely. But grease pencil, the only problem is that it's if you are drawing it using mouse, it's actually can draw it in 2D unless you have some kind of reference. Of course, if you have like monkey head, and then you select your grease pencil and then draw, place it on the surface, and enable a bit of offset, and then you draw on top of Suzanne. Is it working? Yeah, it's working, but we need to add material. So yeah, there's a lot of things to learn. Increase the stroke thickness. Okay, now we can really paint on Suzanne. So this one is actually 3D. You might notice that this is Blender 2.80 and it's the performance is a lot faster. So I think grease pencil is really having grease pencil and then in 3D space, like in Blender, it's really, really powerful for art creations, for animations, for the future of animations. So rather than focusing only like on realism, this is like a really powerful tool for the artists because you can work in 2D and 3D, especially for AR and VR. All right, so I just made doodles on Suzanne. I can hide Suzanne, and we have something that's actually 3D. It's a 3D strokes, and you can animate it if you have multiple frames. But there you go. This is my experimentations with curve, with 3D points, motion capture. Yeah, this is something that you can do at home with just a simple basic computer. I'm using MacBook Pro from 2017. Of course, you need to have like something like the iPhone or something that can track your motion in 3D. Maybe you have like Kinect or other camera that can track your position or track some kind of points in 3D. But it's really interesting, and Blender allows this to happen. And with what I'm doing, I'm using the M.O.M add-on, so MIDI, OSC, and more. Thanks to JP again to provide this add-on. In the next couple of video, I will try to do the FaceCap once again, but using my facial expressions to make maybe like a real-time sound, or try to record my face and then use it for something else. It's interesting, maybe for MIDI or something. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in. This is a long one. Hopefully this is useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.